Baldo was good. That first inning, you think about how hot this team's been coming in to the game. That makes it doubly impressive. And I think Zach had thrown like 13 pitches in 3 days. So he felt good today. We were talking to outfield about how much you're trying. It's really kind of like trying to find your arm slot a little bit. So we'll see. He may be available tomorrow.
Buck, Dan talked earlier today about guys in the rotation needing to step up, that Hellickson can't be it to stabilize things. I mean, how nice was it for you to see Baldo go out there and do what he did?
Yeah, very quietly they have been. If you kind of take it with, Chris cramping up and having an issue there, and it's been a pretty good stretch of good, it's been allowed us to win some games. But, Ubaldo's a good example. Wade gave us a good chance. Of course, Goss pitched well. Chris, before that one, had pitched a couple good games in a row. So it's good because the teams, you're going to be playing a lot of teams that are going to be giving your best shot because of the, the dwindling of games. There's a real sense of urgency.
Does that sense of urgency carry over to the pitcher? I mean, this is three good starts after, Hellickson gets acquired. Do you see any sense of like them maybe looking over their shoulder saying maybe it's my spot that he's going to be in?
No. No, I think that, that's a you could ask each guy. There's always, you can find somebody that lends some validity to that, but I don't know. Competition is always a good thing. We'd like to get to 4 position players. It shows you how important a guy like Craig is having on the bench. When we had him here, it was a really good flow to our bench, and we've been missing that for a while. Not just him, some other guys, but who knows? I know we got some people that I want to continue to kind of back off of when we can. So, but carrying 6 starters and carrying 13 pitchers subtracts from something else you can do well.
Gentry batting that situation, or are you looking at if you send up a lefty like Seth Smith, they may bring in the lefty, or do you just want Gentry either way?
No, they will. And Alexander's, I don't know if he's one of their best pitchers. He's having a great year. I was looking at him. We were talking about him in the advance meeting today. He's one of the few pitchers that pitches like Zach. He's like 96% hard sinker. I think that's the first guy we've seen. He's having, you want to keep him out of the game. Soria's having a good year too. He's back. And, if we'd have been behind that game, we'd have probably ran for Caleb. But, there's a lot of, you can say pinch hit, but then you always got to think about the counterpart of it. Okay, yeah, you do that, but you get their best pitcher in the ball game. What are you going to do? Pinch hit again with Giovatelli probably. And Craig's, we like Craig in that situation, like all our guys. But Soria's good. Their whole bullpen's been pitching well. Let's face it, we scratched out 2 runs. Jonathan had another big two out base hit. Very quietly, he's second in the league in RBIs and trying to close on the next guy. I think it's very quiet. I mean, you got to start talking about him and just because he didn't start out like guys like Judge and some of the other guys, he's ahead of them.
Did you sense that with Zach when you saw him today, in the outfield and stuff, that there was a sense of relief, a sense of happiness to still be here?
Zach's always, I think the only, not anxiety, maybe a little anxiety he had was when he first came off the DL, how long it was going to take him to get in step. He knew how important the games were. And I think that those last couple outings, really last 3, has made him not have that. I think he's been around long enough to know. I think the only thing that kind of irritates players sometimes is some of the stuff their families have to deal with. His wife, and he's got 2 kids, and I know it's part of living in this environment that it comes with the territory. But be a good question for him. I didn't see a whole lot different with him today. We always talk during BP.
Tyrell Weaver for 24th place on the old.
My daughter just told me that before I came down here.
What does that mean to you?
I hadn't thought about it that much. My first reaction, frankly, Rock, is a little bittersweet because of the reverence that our city, our organization has for Earl. It's almost like, he did it, I'm sure. I haven't looked at it in less seasons and less whatever, and I think we'd all love to have, the things he accomplished. But No, I actually find a little bit on the other side that I think because, I don't think anything is going to change how people revere him and what he, accomplished here in Baltimore.
We obviously got the DL move, but anything
The
more
what?
with the DL move with Mark, or anything more on that, on the timeline or anything?
Well, we're hoping that it's 8 more days. The problem, and talking to Richie and the doctors, he's going to get an MRI in the morning, and I actually think it might be 2 o'clock. Did I repeat that to you? I think it's 2 o'clock. I'm not sure, but we felt like it was going to be 4 or 5 days before he could test it, and you would feel confident about him doing it. So you're talking about 6 or 7 there, and then a couple of days, and so it's 10. I'm hoping it's 8 more days, but those things are so unpredictable, it's hard to tell.
Well, with Craig, I know you're making the moves based on what's going to happen down the line. But when he's out there, do you get what maybe a game-winning hit for him might mean? Because he's probably going to play a little more now, I guess, while Trumbo's out. Or whoa.
Will he play more?
I said just the idea of him getting in there and getting involved in it. What a hit means to you and to him.
Well, I tell you, anybody that knows Craig, I mean, he's always on. He's the type of guy you want on the team. That's why we wanted to bring him in. He defends, he throws, he runs, he makes other teams change the way they play, whether it's a bunt, and he's always ready. And you like to have him on the bench or playing against left-hand pitching, because that's why I like hitting him ninth, because you have the top of the order and Jones and those guys behind him. He can turn it over some. If the ball doesn't hit him on the bunt, he's on first base. But he had a couple of hits yesterday. But it's not September. But we've tried a lot. When he was on the club, it was a really functional bench, and really allowed us to do a lot of things in the last 3 innings that we haven't been able to do.